And Leviatán do it in overtime. What a game. If you have some friends that you want to watch some esports with, show them this game. Show them, or you could show them, lock-in finals. That wouldn't be a bad one either. But this one was certainly an exciting one here in the Americas region as Leviatán as well as 100 Thieves go the distance. But it is Leviatán who walk away with the win. Great adaptations from them. Great way to just pull it out right at the end there. But let's go ahead and talk about this match and break it all down because, Mimi, I think out of the gate, we wanted to see 100 Thieves just, give us a little bit more on the attack. They did that. And then on top of which, we wanted to continue to see 100 Thieves dominate on defense. And I think that they also showed that they are a great defensive team. Leviatán just had their number there.
They did. For both Leviatán and 100 Thieves, this is a match about adaptations. Leviatán came in with the game plan of these super strong retakes, but 100 Thieves had some good ideas of their own to be able to adapt.
And here's one of the ones, the takes by Leviatán. You see the deep wall going all the way down in the middle of B there, and they can take the site moving forward, not having to worry about this utility that's being thrown in from 100 Thieves, just continuously moving forward in safety. And how are you not confident when you get these positions?
Yeah, it's a really good setup from them, using both the control utility to high effect and then pinching back down to play together deeper into this post plant and having utility to close this one out. But this was against the anti-eco. And this is where you just kind of see Leviatán game plan playing exactly as you would expect, as they want it to turn out. But 100 Thieves was starting to take things to them. And in particular, we're showing some great usage of the Omen on that defensive side. Their retakes were really nice. They also were really willing to give up this space, fight back in together off of those Omen smokes and paranoias for Cryo. And they also had different varieties where they were anchoring on site, using his utility to hold things down. 100 Thieves, I was really happy about that game for them. But again, it was not enough. Leviatán came up with the ideas in overtime and closed it.
Yeah, that's the difficult part of it, right? You see something from 100 Thieves and you're like, this team. Oh, everyone in the crowd's like, oh, I know, this team. But then, right at the end, Riv, they just fell apart. It felt like Leviatán just was like, oh, this is how we win, and then just went ahead and did it.
It came back to the adaptation, like Mimi said. You actually saw Cryo play underneath that balcony one of the rounds of overtime just before, or even in regulation time, and it's actually where Leviatán went to find, I think it was Cryo the next time on Omen or Bang, whoever was still alive in that situation. So they were reading the way round after round 100 Thieves was going to play that A situation. So it almost felt like an eventually as they kept knocking on the door. They didn't go B in overtime. They went back to that A to punish what they knew on 100 Thieves.
Yeah. They had to crack the egg eventually, and they ended up making an omelet and got themselves a win. Look at that. But you know what? There's some players that we don't really get to talk about all that much. Even though we have like a week-long or multi-week-long league, we still miss some of these great players. One of those guys is actually Shy, because Shy was fantastic, and there is a lot of respect for this player here, Mimi.
Yeah, this quote is from Asuna at Lock-In, and he was asked, who do you think is the player that impressed you the most from this? And he says, I've been following Shy's career for a while, looking back at Shy's matches and stuff. It feels like Leviatán found a gem in him. They seem to be molding him in the right direction. He seems to be really flexible with the roles that he's playing. He's gone from being the Fade Initiator player to being more of a Sentinel player, and Asuna thought he was really good at Champions when they scrimmed against him, and that he's only proven to be better as time has gone on. And that showed in the matchup because Shy was so incredible playing on the Sentinel role that Austin was just talking about him switching to ahead of Lock-In. He's a big part of these retakes when Leviatán goes for them, using those mollies to take space or stall out when they're actually trying to hold on to these sites. And in the late round on the attack as well, he was super clutch for this team to close out for some of these critical situations.
I think that's one of the biggest points is you see Shy alive towards the end of these rounds. A lot of the time it's a win condition for them. He is someone who can play the correct angles, watch that flank, keep his utility alive, which is huge, and then be able to keep the mollies in place.
The end of this game wasn't defined by any of the superstars of this team. It wasn't really King, it wasn't really Taco. It was Shy and Mazino for the most part who were winning out those clutches to just barely pull that over the line for Leviatán.
Yeah, it's scary how every player on this team contributes equally here. And it's reflected not only in their standings, but it's also reflected in the scoreboard. It's just incredible, top to bottom. But, as we continue to praise Leviatán, they won the game. Congratulations to them. Still, I want to take it back over to 100 Thieves real fast and talk about, the defense, but also the aggression. I really liked what we were seeing here, Riv.
We had trap plays, we had shocks to Viper mollies going out towards B, recognizing the state of the game when the they might have wanted to get Harbor Ultimate on the other side, and then the setups towards A as well, being able to stop with the double Sentinel and make sure those setups just shut Leviatán down from gaining space.
They did, and this is what we were talking about in the pre-show. A team like Leviatán is super prep heavy. If you let them play to their initial idea, they will bowl you over. And 100 Thieves did a really good job at the preparation, realizing that out of a lot of these timeouts, they're going to go for these B hits and having things prepped, like that shock molly that you were talking about. On the attacking side, it was the post-plan aggression, and on the defense, it was being proactive in the early round to shut down that idea, and also in those retakes, fighting through, not allowing Leviatán to be comfortable, which I was really worried about 100 Thieves being able to do against a squad that thus far has looked so much stronger than them throughout the season.
We also had a little bit of Cryo being more aggressive on Omen than he is on the Jets. Okay, Cryo, like running out of those Viper's pits, finding kills. It felt like an invigorated Cryo.
That Omen Flash and TP, don't sleep on it, baby. It's good. It's good stuff. Give yourself a few smokes, play around them. It ain't half bad. But look, guys, before we get into map 2, let's take a pit stop, as a matter of fact, and go to an aim lab shoot-around, because we got Asuna on deck here. Okay. He's going to shoot some orbs and stuff. But, you know, I think, oh, what's that background?
Oh, he's in the compound.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. I'm so basic with aim lab. I literally just.
Oh, look at the hoodies.
Oh man, can you shoot the hoodies? I don't know. Like,
no,
not
Wait, why?
Not a bad way.
Why is Nate shot in the aim lab? What's he shooting?
Wait, what? I'm just genuinely lost here, but I do appreciate that he's going ADS.
Look at that orbage.
The community created stuff in AimLab is crazy. You can.
It is pretty wild
scenarios out there, but also some really cool ones. Asuna was really stellar for this team in the first map. It wasn't on that proactive duelist role that we were talking about a lot in the pre-show, but it doesn't matter. Even when he's on the stage, this guy's always going to be providing a lot of value for this team. And for both him and Cryo, I think on that map we saw the confidence that we've been waiting to come out for this squad, like you were talking about with some of those Omen plays.
Do we get him on the Gecko now? We'll see.
That's a question.
That could be fun. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that. You know, and keep in mind though that for both of these teams, I don't want to say that the stake. Obviously, every game the stakes are always going to be high here because you only have a few,
even more
9 games in the season, right? And especially here in Super Week. But it's interesting. I feel like both of these teams could sacrifice a loss here and still be relatively okay. Not something you want to say, but that being said, you could tell that neither one of these teams, Mimi, they don't want to drop that L. They want to take this up because how big of a win would this be for 100 Thieves to be able to pull this off?
It'd be huge. They're 2-2 right now. Continuing the momentum and trying to actually win out a series here is what we want to see from 100 Thieves. For Leviatán, though, they're second place in the league right now, 3-1. This is about staying on top for them. And you can see that in their gameplay. The structure was there. Owner super proactive with those pauses. Think of that eco round they lost. They almost lost them the game because it was 13-11 at the end. They instantly call the timeout. They instantly save. You can see whenever mistakes are being made, this team hates it, and they are quickly making adaptations.
Yeah, that point, it seems funny. It's like almost to the point where, okay, one of you is getting out, and Owner's now going to sit in that chair. Like, it's that quick that they called the timeout war. So to see those little micromanagements, we saw actually MCE do it to Cloud9 the first time we saw on stage.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, we heard, I actually spoke to a few of the coaches after that, and they said it's nicer to get timeouts in early, to know you took them, instead of thinking about wanting to take it later, and you didn't.
Yeah. Now, by the way, I want to let everyone know at home that, and for those of you guys in the arena here at the Riot Games Arena, just want to let you know that we had like an audio issue on the stage for one of the players. Getting it resolved, and then we'll be into the action in a little bit. But I did have a question to pose to the panel here, something I was curious about, because, you know, at the end of Icebox, right, I think we were all pretty big on 100 Thieves. We were like, man, this is actually going really well. The game plan's working. Leviatán are making this difficult. 100 Thieves could pull it off. But then it didn't happen. And then Leviatán walk away with the win. What do you think, Mimi, in your, you know, observing these teams, what do you feel like was the kind of the tipping point there that gave Leviatán the win over 100 Thieves? What was the, I guess, the secret sauce that they busted out in OT?
I think at the end of the game, the last few rounds, it was from both teams, the willingness to at times try things new. That's what we saw from some of the success points of 100 Thieves, leaning into anchoring the sites instead of playing full retake. But what Leviatán did, honestly, I feel like was just fix some of the issues in rounds they were already doing. They kept in OT going for a lot of those A hits that previously they had been losing. A lot of scrappy rounds that they shouldn't have. There was 2 times where 100 Thieves stuck a spike defuse, where little mistakes were being made, where there was sloppiness that we don't normally expect from Leviatán. And in OT, they really cleaned that up. When they got those post blends, the util timings were on point. They weren't leaving those gaps for 100 Thieves to get back in. And on top of that, players like Mazzino and Shy were having huge impact in the last few rounds.
Yeah, let's be honest. If there wasn't a king clutch, there wouldn't have been an overtime.
That's true.
So 100 Thieves, you know, they kind of botched an end round there where it was diffused,
3v1?
but multiple defenders on a solo person fighting. So we had a lot of those shoot through smoke ending rounds.
And
I
you
think
said that when we were watching the game. You're like, I don't think this is sustainable to just keep relying on shooting through smoke.
And that's why Leviatán stepped up into the site, I think, over time in that and kept pushing through past Maze, past 410, and was underneath to find Bang, find Stellar when they were hiding in, so they couldn't approach the site.
There's actually an interesting comparison there between the two compositions, because this was an issue I think 100 Thieves struggled with in a lot of the early parts of that first half.
Yeah.
Where with this Omen comp, it felt like they were actually leaving Cryo out to dry a lot, particularly on their A hits, where they would leave him on the site to try and fight, and he'd maybe get one, then die. But everyone else would be playing far back, leaning into the util, which was an issue that we used to see a lot more for this team. But as they got deeper into that, they realized they needed to fight forward, be proactive with Cryo to get that opening kill, because that was the issue again with MIBR. You cannot let Leviatán play their game and retake into you, or you will most likely lose out on that round.
Yeah, you just can't let your boy be out on an island by himself. Give him some support, help him out, maybe a paddle or two and some water. But that being said, though, that wraps up map 1. Icebox goes the way of Leviatán. Excuse me, the Heineken 0.0 Icebox.
That's true.
I'm going to enjoy saying that for as long as I can. And then we move on to map 2. It's going to be Haven here. And Riv, you said, you were like, you know, I want to see something creative. I might want to see a little bro, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Asuna brings out the little bro, but they have to. Leviatán is so strong on this pick. That's why they're going towards it. They run this map like it's a home ground for them.
They really do. Leviatán, this has consistently been probably their de facto map. You think back to so many of the big Leviatán wins throughout the history of this team, and it's almost always been on Haven. And unlike 100 Thieves, they don't run a gimmick comp like the Gecko. They run pretty much a bog standard, a fade, raise, breach composition, which tons of teams run, but they're really good at it.
Yeah.
Again, we've talked a lot about this, but similar to Icebox, they're going to lean into these retakes a lot of the time, and the coordination on those set plays, the attacking side as well, they have a lot of those really good ideas. But also this map is where we've seen some of their strongest moments in the adaptation. Think back to Copenhagen or Champions, where someone's teleporting onto a box and see heaven at the last second. This is still that team that can pull out some of that craziness, and Haven is one of those maps where they can lean into that.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. You want this to go to 3, especially, 100% if you are a 100 Thieves fan. You want this to go to 3 right now, given the circumstances. But here we go. Agent select now as we see what we're going to get. And already out of the gate, little bros here in LA, people.
Fans are happy about that one.
They popped off.
A lot of tiers per plant. We'll keep an eye on those plants, too.
Cheap pop.
Yeah, they do. The game plan around this composition is cool. We also see on the side of Leviatán, looks like they're shifting over to that jet instead of the raise. Not a hugely surprising shift, but to talk about this Gecko for a second.
Do you think it's
on
gimmicky?
The attacking side, it's definitely gimmicky. Gecko is kind of gimmicky, but what they do well with it is a lot of the time they'll lean into these B hits with that Gecko, putting him into plant while they're fighting a link. It just adds kind of an extra pair of hands that allows you to fight forward in your post plant on the attacking side and be more proactive, which I think is going to be really good against Leviatán.
Yeah, but I also don't want them to just rely on that, because I feel like we've seen way too many times it's like, what does Wingman do? Oh, I think he just plants a spike. No, he actually does some other things as well.
But here's the thing, if you're being proactive and you're fighting forward, instead of letting him be the first line, that issue doesn't crop up.
True.
You're actually the wingman to wingman.
That's Look at that.
You need to go
to the club.
Another strength of this one is that Molly will still do a ton of damage to those Killjoy lockdowns. If you can combine that with a shock, there's a lot of opportunities to break that one down and stop retakes. So talk about Leviatán for a bit, though. They have pivoted over to Taco on this jet. It's still a bog standard composition besides that one, but I'm looking towards Taco getting this off online on the defense, and how 100 Thieves shuts this down, because you don't have a breach or a sky or a KO. Normally you have those tools to get an opera off the line, but here you only have Gecko's little guy, which can make it harder.
All right, well, this is it. Let's find out if this one can go to map 3. And now it's time to send it to your casters. 2 guys who contacted Human Resources and told them they did not want to be my emergency contact. This is Doug and Ball.
Thank you so much, GB. This is just becoming like a full-on story, and I don't really know what side of the story we're on anymore. Haven in the books, Asuna and Gecko, everyone loves it. But I think Leviatán's comp, Mimi was talking about it a little bit, they have so many more tools to set up their side.
Yeah, I mean, they've got that breach. They've got Takalua on the jet as well, which is a very exciting prospect on this map in particular. It's been some Jets playground. Taco hasn't really taken over any specific game here so far in LA. And I'm looking for him to do it at some point. But also, this is such a strong point here for Leviatán. This is their map pick. And they've also bought themselves a little bit of a buffer, too, by winning that first map, which was 100 Thieves' pick. But I am concerned for 100 Thieves because Leviatán, this map, like Mimi was saying, like she was alluding to, is Leviatán's playground. They've been so good. This is one of their maps that they had that strong one last year at Champions.
I look at Cryo's health already, man. 28 HP because of that.
Follow up with the aftershock.
They just want to fight. It feels like it's right where we left off. Mazzino's goop, man, he can't see a thing. They get the kill anyway. Nice trade out from Taco.
The flank.
Dude, they are so pacey on this. They're so quick on it.
That is a ridiculously fast round from Leviatán. It was 4 players pushing A, and the last player is Shy. Approaching out Garage, he gets that quick flank. And secures it eventually. The staying power in that hit too. Love the idea. As soon as there's some utility there from 100 Thieves, you get the trap sprung down short. But on top of that, you have Takalua dashing up long. Nice pistol round conversion. Again, the focus from this team, from Owner, on these little rounds like the pistol, the ecos, the bonuses, make them such a threat at all stages of the game. And you've already seen them have a pretty considerate, close game where they're very happy to play in those situations.
That shot killed a little something.
Oh!
Somebody
Low bro planning.
Still up, yeah.
Placing alarm bomb. Placing swarm grenade.
Now what do they do from here? Cryo's gotten a weapon. He just handed it over to Asuna, so he still has a Spectre to work with. They're just waiting, so patient, letting the smoke subside before they swing. And there it is, timing gorgeous from Leviatán once again.
One enemy remaining.
And it's not going to be flawless, but it's going to be pretty freaking close.
Surprised they get the retake back on that one. That was a little difficult given Cryo got Mazzino down, and thankfully King got all his util back up in time. They just farm that, and that again is one of the key factors of Leviatán. They are so well considered when it comes to retakes. I've said it over and over and over and over, but I want to hammer that point.
One enemy remaining.
Because if 100 Thieves can't do what they did on Icebox, which is start to find ways to interrupt those protocols, things can get very hairy. It's interesting because Leviatán actually on this map, especially at lock-in, this is one of the maps where they were considerably scrappy on.
There they are.
And it took heroics of King to actually get back out of this, but we'll see if they need that today.
Other than clearing out some utility, yeah. 100 Thieves had to make a sound up until then. Look at Taco going over the top. And it gives 1 for 1. Derek now starting to funnel out onto the side alongside the rest of 100 Thieves, and this tit for tat continues.
Last player standing.
Ooh. Finally a gap in the numbers. And Mazzino's left alone. He's gonna get peppered through the wall. And his frenzy from a distance shouldn't be able to do very much at all.
These teams are so even. Just gonna go for some extra damage on this bonus.
Turret's problem number 1. Now they know Mazzino has a Guardian. Spam timing on the smoke. It's pretty as 100 Thieves get on the board.
Fast hit towards A, and immediately, look at Stellar pinging already on the map. Getting ready for the next approach. One thing that 100 Thieves have done really well with this Haven comp is Asuna has found ways to execute with the wingman. So often we've seen teams run into the pitfall of sending the plant down C long. We might see that here, and them not really dealing with anything, but Asa's got Thrash at this point, so we might see a double hit with that. See how considered it is.
Yeah, monster on the loose.
There's Thrash, as you were just mentioning. Cryo taking the space with him, understanding that the site is empty. Farm Thrash and get to go again.
And this is a situation where Wingman will not plant because Derek is close to the ult. Actually, he's going to go for it anyways. He just got tagged by that. Asta might go down. He does.
Stellar expecting the flank. Taco would proc the dash, and it doesn't matter.
That's another ping too, though.
King has a little bit of utility. You see Stellar who's going to be flanking around, but it may be too late.
He's got an edge here. He's
going to be over
way
before
far
he gets there. Mazzino's going to hold it the whole way.
How does that happen? 100 Thieves just got hit by their own tactic. Just stick the defuse.
You have to think.
A slight misplant there. You want to be flush with that wall so nobody can get around that platform while you're defusing. That one's gonna hurt because all of a sudden, yeah, they're still able to buy through. But you've got a strong Leviatán responding right now. There's no streak available after losing that pistol.
King's fall line early. See a little bit of mind games being played out from Bang. Threatening that he had taken the teleport into Cubby on A long. And we'll see what that draws up from utility. Yeah, you see the drone from NCR being used to clear short.
Shy's gonna rock a monster. Peeking with his turret there, but the double flash, or the flash paired with Wingman, forces him off.
Paranoid to help things out a little bit further. Logs cleared, but so is Cryo.
What?
That was filthy from Shy as he gets another. They're still on the site. Vecino's behind them, and they don't know.
Player standing.
Well done by Derek, but once again, Leviatán up in numbers. 100 Thieves left scratching how they gotten into this position, how the heck they get themselves out of it too.
Stellar tried to make a play into back sight there while Derek had to deal with Mizuno there. I'm surprised he didn't back off and fight with Derek instead. So he took a separate 1v1 and now left up to NA's clutch minister.
Planted. My ult is ready.
He hasn't had one in a while. He's teed up for one now. He's only able to get one though.
And Leviatán have canceled any momentum that 100 Thieves might have started to get. But two approaches on C. One met with no resistance, but this one, Shy is there. I like to take through garage, but consistently since that NRG game, this Shy guy has impressed me. So considered, and his decision-making has been incredible. Was one of the key factors in making Leviatán an actual contender to make it towards global events for LATAM.
Here.
Soon as he was introduced to the roster,
Scanning ahead.
they've made it to every single one.
Nowhere to run.
Early flash this time and two ults now used. The first one to get info, the second to try to get a kill.
Nothing found though, and they've got massive retake ults, so see 100 Thieves considers the lockdown that might be put down by Shy, but also the breach ult. It's in such a good spot. It's really nice to be it. Not be able to be broken, but it also gives up space here for them to play in long.
You wonder if off of the Rolling Thunder, they take the space that you were just alluding to.
Oh, good movement here from Taco. Stella's not going to be a factor.
Another 5v5. Mazzino up top. Cryo and Asuna down low. Four members of 100 Thieves trying to play down long, and Stellar the only exception in
They just
short.
smoked themselves off? I think they just smoked themselves off.
Derek with the first op. Shot goes wide. As it's all spammed through. Another clash. Another bash and another flawless round. Stellar was there the entire time, alone. Remember, he dodged that opening op shot.
I thought Taco had him for sure. Taco put himself in such a good position, and Stellar's the guy who ends up coming through with it. That is Bit of a blunder there from Leviatán. In my opinion, they should have been very favored, especially after that smoke went up from Bang. I think it's a good idea to threaten the pop out and go for the spam, but it is a risk. That is a risky idea.
Thieves fans rolling deep today. And after letting that first map slip away, they find themselves deadlocked again here. A clean round out from them, but yeah, one that probably, all things considered, should have gone Leviatán's way, but they scrapped their way through it.
And there was a lot of ults invested in that. Yep. Mazzino used his TP as well on top of the lockdown, on top of the breach ult. And they've actually broken the economy, so that little response from Leviatán was short-lived. Looking where Taco wants to use his knives, if there's any idea of an early updraft. Doesn't look like it, but it looked like they might go for that four-person push that they did on pistol. You can really carpet bomb A lobby with the fault line and this paranoia, but 100 Thieves is already considering. Look how far back Derek is actually droning this from. They might not actually find anything.
They saw nothing.
That might be a trap. Oh, more.
And I wonder if it was because of how far back he had to use it. You see King is proc. He's got that fault line ready.
No info from that flash.
And look at how patient Leviatán are. They haven't moved an inch in the face of the drone, in the face of the goop. Dizzy, I forgot his name for a moment.
How could you? Good pivot. They felt something was up. Usually there's a response with that amount of util used out of one side, and Knives out. Knives gone.
Clean out from Derek. Uh-oh.
They're pulling back here. They're pulling back here.
There's a lot on the other side. Just a classic.
They might think it's still only one, though. King is the only guy taking contact.
You're right, that's all they've seen.
This flank could come fast, and there's a gun that they did not pick up.
Oh, Shy. Shy's gonna get so much info, and that forces him out! Shy makes the call, Mazzino swings out and gets two.
And look at the foot race from Nosworth. Trying to get his way all the way back up. Stellar has to ult to hold this space for the wingman to plant. And it will get put down.
Another scrappy round as Mazzino gets put down.
They're in the lockdown right now.
Stellar's just holding it.
Shy picked up the Vandal. He's going for the fast flank. It's not planted for spawn here.
Asuna and Stellar both weak. Stellar with a little bit of utility.
They're going to hear him at this point.
He doesn't have time to be quiet about it. Asuna cleans him up, gets the thrash online as well.
Bold of Asuna to be peeking logs by himself there, but makes it work.
10 seconds left.
Dude, Stellar again.
One enemy remaining.
He found the lurk and understood what was going on, despite not even being involved in that A lobby fight. So he just walked up C. And one of the things, too, is Leviatán, the last time they played Haven was at Lock-in, so yes, there's a little bit of tape, but it was a different comp. Part of the reason why Leviatán might have switched here, given how prep-heavy 100 Thieves was on that first map of Icebox.
Thrash getting a little bit of space, but cleared out almost instantly. They should be able to pick him up again and go again, though.
Back up.
Wingman on the plant. The fault line there, and it should be clear. Taco's going! Oh, Austin is wise to it, though. Well done!
Taco's been spammed in his smoke. It feels like every time he goes for a smoke dash. It looks like a save. They're calling it.
Wow. I think the only real question is how far are 100 Thieves going to want to hunt?
I think that dart actually gives them info. That came from a long way away, and you could hear it traveling for quite some time. So another in the books for 100 Thieves, but still threats by Leviatán. It is very interesting to see Leviatán consistently go for this approach on many maps of being comfortable retaking, given how difficult of an idea that is. The average retake rate for most teams is close to 20%. Leviatán, yes, they have a little better than that, but
Wise words from
thanks,
the crowd.
Thanks for the reminder.
But to go back to the point you were making, yeah, executing retakes consistently in the face of all of the chaos and synergizing of utility is much easier said than done. So for them to continue to lean into it, second timeout used by Leviatán, by the way, and we're still in the first half.
This is the second.
Yep.
Oh boy. Owner. This is round 9 now going into it, and he's not going to get a chance to talk to them at all for the rest of the game, and this is close still. This is still very early. And I do like what the Des was talking about trying to use these timeouts early so you don't regret not using them later on. But this one, you have no clue. I mean, it's a whole new game in the second half.
Right.
That tells you how much the alarm bells are going off for Owner. And the crazy part too is they just saved. They just had 40 seconds to talk to themselves.
It's a long conversation, but he clearly trusts his team and trusts that they'll go the rest of the way without him.
That's a good point.
Light armor on 3 for Leviatán. Blades for Cryo. I can't imagine he'll use it here as Bang's spotted. The spam is there. He took some damage.
It's paired up with Noswer's dart there to try to get a kill. But the key part is he actually didn't use his dash. A lot of people will double satchel up there or go for a dash to try to get there in time. But he opts not to do that, so has a tool for later on in the round.
They've taken some garage control, now throwing the brakes on the round. After bullying Shy off, you've got King close by. His fault line isn't up yet, though. Chooses to use a flash.
They just flash Shy in, but Bang wants to flash himself, so curious.
He still gets one? And they're expecting King. All the timing! No way!
Mid. One enemy remaining.
What in the world is that? That's a Spectre. Is that what they talked about? I mean, what is that?
I guess. Guys, just keep moving when you shoot. That was the plan in the timeout.
Holy moly. You hate to see it, but love to see it at the same time. Look at this.
Right.
You saw the dink and you definitely go for it. You're just like, yeah, whatever. Call him John McClane.
The timeouts have come in bunches early in this map, as now 100 Thieves choose to use their first.
Bring it back, bro.
You think so?
No. No, don't. You're right. These timeouts, I mean, this feels like 3 very quick ones in succession. Leviatán obviously with both used already, but even despite that, 100 Thieves giving them another opportunity to talk here on this first half, and you have to wonder if Owner's hoping that Mike is going to call a timeout in the second half for him. Is that something that you could do as an experienced coach of Owner? You have all the tools, you've been in this situation over and over, you're really comfortable getting your point across in a short period of time, and might not even end up realizing what he ends up giving to Leviatán as a boon in the next half. Either way, this one clearly he's had enough time to talk, so what more can Owner even say at this point?
Get out of my way!
I don't know, the man seems verbose. That's a deep dart.
Cryo tried to updraft and him out early.
Taco got aggressive.
Oh, that is, wow! He's pushing through a smoke!
Deploying drone.
Derek at this point has gotten 3 first kills on this map and 3 on the last. As an initiator player, that is not the stat line you're thinking you'll see.
No, not at all. And you'd expect him to be setting up Cryo, for example, or something along those lines. But for him to be the one finding success, there is...
Especially in a ridiculous situation like that.
Wingman's gonna
Look at this flank, though. Derek is trying to consider. He is jiggling against Mazzino. That might not get off. No, it's
so
in.
close. And Derek's pulled off. Mazzino's on the flank. Mazzino's timing could be everything. He just spotted Derek. But Derek's still wise to it.
Oh, Mazzino not even still considering to go for this in this 3v5. It might be another
Save?
And then there's 5 players up. They've lost the push on Taco immediately, and then Shy as well, who's the anchor on that site. Even though he denied the plant, he fell flat. Leviatán is a team, probably the team that saves the most in the Americas League. So this is not a surprise at all. We didn't really get to see it much against MIBR, but
Yeah, I guess they didn't really have to, did they?
this was over and over happening in that game against NRG. Five to 5, score still even. Again, it's been clear since the beginning of Icebox that these two teams are neck and neck. At least in terms of the performance today. Taco has been constantly up A long. And now losing that fight, I think that's the cue to switch him over towards C, but I am concerned that 100 Thieves is gonna make the read about that.
Not only is he C long, but he's got an op. No armor, too. I don't know that he's gonna get challenged. You've got Stellar, who's controlling the flank with the rest of 100 Thieves, leaning A. They just spotted one here. So you have an idea it's Gecko who's around. But NCR holding that line. Trying to smoke out from Mazzino. They don't really have any space anywhere else on the map.
And the first engagement is going to be in the execute. It looks like 50 seconds. Stellar always has the room to pivot here.
Shy's going to be waiting for it. We're going to have a fight on 2 fronts. While the majority of the players on the server clash on A, it's going to be a fight for a flank across the elsewhere on the map. But Cryo with 2 massive kills.
But they're not checking nozzle. What? Yes, they are.
Cryo gets 4. And another save for Leviatán. Cryo was such a part of discussion in these opening weeks to this stage, and you know, how successful has he been or not been? What kind of a Jet is he? Is he the kind of player that can take over games like we've known other Jets to do? Dude, he's performed so well this series. And he's gone hunting. Not able to get the ace.
Just gotta save this out.
Yeah.
2 players can still buy, but does he consider the push down C too?
Oh, I
yes,
don't
he
think
does.
It's gonna matter, yeah.
Well done. Very well done. It's necessary for him to keep that on, but this was such a massive round from Cryo. I was about to speak about the situation for the Leviatán. They've been losing these first fights over and over and over. Up to that point, they hadn't won. Other than Shy, who had 3 first kills, that was the only first kills for Leviatán.
Turret out.
Their Sentinel player having success on those defensive first kills, but now we're gonna look. Taco again going down sewers, and 100 Thieves is reading it again. Not approaching and instantly taking down that molly that we saw earlier was the end of the wingman plant.
The alarm bot's still there, though. The drone, and King's going aggressive. Look, he's already facing up on the other side of the smoke. They're just gonna fight. They want to take the fight. Forget about a retake. They're flooding it now.
Stunned in the corner.
He's so dead. He had no chance.
And look at the flank from Taco too. He's gonna be the ender.
1 enemy remaining.
Derek's already gotten dropped. Taco's on the flank, as you mentioned.
What a random comeback round there for Leviatán. It looked like they had no energy, but King with the Guardian in that. It's flawless. And I was just about to mention how they did not really get many ults online at all since that one where they tried to retake fast. But there you got it. 2 kills from King and instantly breach ults. Other than that, though, they might have only had 1 for most of their players in that half.
Just such a different flavor, such a different approach to how they closed out that round. Unreal. 6-6 half. GB, what do you think? We going to map 3?
Look, man, I want it. I want him after. I'll take it.
3.
I'm okay with it. You know, baby, I get paid either way. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that being said, though, speaking of getting paid, all these players are earning their paychecks on that stage today because they're putting on one hell of a show. Riv, let's just jump right into it and talk about, you know, really just the beginning of the game, because I think you can take every round and just break it down.
Absolutely. We break this one down and we see that LEV loves to push where they go. When this round starts off and they get the push out mid, you have the 4 coming up A, and Leviatán did this multiple times to section off the map and start getting a better read on 100 Thieves.
You've seen this across multiple maps now. Bala was talking about it, where Leviatán's read on the game is so heavy into these retakes. They love fighting heavy for extremity control in one place, taking that space and intentionally giving up other sites to play that retake. And initially it looked like that game plan was gonna work like it did on Icebox. But as that half went on, we started to see them really struggle to make those retakes happen. And I think a big part of that was these first kills and first stats. Taco in particular was so slow to get anything going. On 100 Thieves' attacking side, they did a good job of not allowing him much room whatsoever. And without those opening kills, with Leviatán being a team that's so willing to save, they lose that early advantage. They're just going to give it to you.
Yeah, Taco, it just struggle city for him. And a player that whenever you see him in the server, you know he's going to deliver. But this time around, it's been a little rough. And it was funny because we were joking about it. We were like, oh, you know, Cryo and Taco both struggling. And then Cryo nearly gets the ace. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's what Cryo does. So you're really hoping for that moment from Taco, aren't you, Riv?
Absolutely. I mean, Taco's here. We had tacos last night. Lots of tacos coming in. But it is one that needs to step up. He was one of him and Aspas are the only Jet player on Jet only in America. So he knows his role. The team knows the role around it. And the Jet needs to be going and the Jet needs to be getting some frags maybe.
As we look towards the second half now, it's 6-6, and I'm looking at Asuna on this Gecko. They had a lot of good ideas on this attacking side, but it's a lot harder to recoup your Dizzy, keep that utility in your hands on this defensive side. We'll have to see if they can match that success.
Yeah, we'll see if Lil Bro can be a factor here, but let's send it back over to Doug and Ball.
Knotted up at halftime, 6-6. Potential of Lotus on the cards, but we'll see if we're able to get that far, if 100 Thieves are able to close it out. The defensive side now up for grabs, and Mimi was talking about it. It's a little bit more difficult to find repeated value out of your utility if you're Gecko in this situation. We'll see if Asuna can pull it off.
It is a weird pick, and we'll see if Leviatán is prepared to handle. They're going fast up towards B. Bang is up, TP'd, and so is Cryo. He's here.
Bang got messed up. Bang is patient. Cryo falling first, but kills going back and forth.
Taco in the back of sight did get the sheriff, but he's spammable back there. Mollyable, anything. They don't have anything.
2 members that are weak, now 3 members that are weak on the attacking side, but they don't seem to care.
Like that little bounce there from the Dizzy of Asuna. Comes back when you expect it not to, but 1v4, this is tough position, and he can't even pick up his buddies.
And again, Leviatán's so weak here. I mean, you take a look at the health bars, you know there's not much to go around.
Yeah, you just don't peek here as Leviatán.
As Shy peeks around from backside and gets a kill.
At least he has the flank. Possibility. And that's another pistol for Leviatán. I was speaking about how 100 Thieves were buffered by the pistols in that first game a little bit. Here, Leviatán was that case. Because of how many rounds they had to save, but winning 2 is definitely going to keep them in this. On the attack side, too.
Keep up.
They have the tools to set up Taco, to make him and put him in positions to really pop off.
Yeah, but I think eyes go towards Shy here. He had so much success in that pistol that he's got a Phantom in light armor. So I think, yeah, there's a lot of discussion around how do you set up Taco for success, but you've got the guns, you've got the big stuff in the hands of Shy.
And the isolated fight, by the way, from Hazino is by himself over at C Long. He's only got a ghost, so
Caution here.
even if he goes down to aggro, totally fine with that. They're not going to really give up any significant advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Asuna spotted him, but so did Taco.
A couple of warning shots dropped. But
Oh,
that's all.
Cryo activated his dash because of that engagement. And Asuna rotated all the way over. He's
pushing
down
forward.
sewers into Shy. He got him!
That's
What?
the Phantom! Now Cryo is a Phantom! He's swinging around and he finds success with it!
Talk about advantage given up. 40 seconds though. They're going to push through spawn with a molly. Forces him out.
Nazar?
Doesn't realize the Heaven player in the round
Spike
is
down.
completely
Defender
slipped
spawn.
out of control.
What a conversion!
That is incredibly uncharacteristic for Leviatán. That's 2 now in this series though.
See ya.
But the way that fell apart and how everybody started making solo plays is not what you expect from this team. And in the last round when they got thrifted in the last map, Owner instantly called a timeout. He does not have that option right now.
It's a very good point. Yeah, a reminder that they don't have that at their disposal. They still have enough to get some by them. Azino has a Vandal this time. Taco with the Stinger.
The fast flank though, Shy does have a turret, but can they get back fast enough to even deal with this right now?
And how much info is that turret really gathering too? I mean, I guess perhaps by process of elimination, you understand that there is likely more than one. There's a drone you've heard off of the turret being cleared. NZR the first to fall. Mazino, who has a gun, which is really nowhere to be seen. He's trying to hold down the site. It's just these two that remain. There's the Stinger getting the first, and they cannot get much more.
Clean anti-eco. Stellar was aggressive on that fist bump there. And I think they did a great job cleaning up the players who ended up getting off of site there. After the turret contact, they split and went 2 through window, 2 through grass. Momentum well within the 100 Thieves camp.
Placing sentry.
And actually, 100 Thieves in back-to-back LATAM opponents. Against Crew, they got stomped on that first map and ended up coming back to win the series. Here they're down a map and looking to start that reverse sweep in the best of 3. Nice bounce again from Asuna, recovering
Cheeky.
like a boomerang.
Now with the op in the hands of Cryo too. It doesn't look like he's going to get much of an early challenge, but with how well he's played this series, you just kind of got to keep that in the back of your mind.
That could have denied the drone. Almost found the timing for it. It instantly canceled too. Asuna's crouched down in a really cheeky angle, but you see on the mini-map right now, they're heading into Cryo's op.
Oh.
Traded though, instant.
Nice trade up by Taco. You're
Taco's
right.
low, he's gonna dash still, what?
Of course he is. Doesn't take the route all the way backside. Stellar waiting for it. Off of the flash. Stellar gets him. Dude, Stellar is on one.
Rough first game for Stellar, but this one, 14 and 7. He had the reads too. The calls have been fantastic. I don't even know how he gets Shy there.
Yeah, I don't either.
And Haven feels different. Remember on Icebox, I was saying they might be buffered by these pistols because Leviatán's winning a lot of those guns, the gun rounds. But here, 100 Thieves have shifted that balance. And they forced Leviatán to go down to a save again. Knives out from Taco though, very dangerous round.
Riv was mentioning on the desk. Eyes turned towards him. Can he find success? He is very aggressively going.
Oh! Early lockdown though, so they won't be able to get the plant, or do they stick for it? They're gonna have to fall way out. That's a great lockdown, so no way you can commit to that.
That would have spelled disaster.
They could come back into it. they don't have information about the rest of the map, so I think they're kind of pushed into this decision.
Yeah.
But do they expect the push from Cryo? Look at the alarm bot that got put down. I don't think you're going to expect people to have flooded out of heaven. So Cryo has the opportunity to close out this round. And he hears it, so he calls his teammates over.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on here. Oh, I thought King was going to jump on
But they
it.
get the plant.
Cryo's still able to get one. Vandal's still in the hands of Mizuno.
Cover going out.
Smokes down Cryo's blades. Done playing patient. Wants to go fast off the paranoia. He gets one off Mizuno on the flick on NCR.
Just disgusting. Heavy criticism on Cryo. But he finally gets his flowers. Here on stage, he finally gets his flowers. What a round by the guy.
Yeah, that flick on NCR was cold.
That's what they brought him in for.
He still has that off, too. He's had it for, what, 3 rounds now?
He's gotten a pick with it every single one. Compare that to Taco's success on the defense. Much different, and Taco's not clearing his corners.
No, we're just forcing
So far an
at this
attack.
point.
And I like the idea to go for this pinch, but they even got a sharp detain. Under Thieves, everything working. Leviatán, things falling apart, but that's a nice double face.
She's going to need to do that 4 more times to secure the round.
Oh my goodness, Derek, what a shock.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. 74 HP, a Thrash back up online. You've got the Wingman swinging out as well. Cryo gets another with the up, continuing the consistency of success.
This defensive half is so strong from 100 Thieves. Everything that they go for in there. I mean, they threw the shark down from B, caught shy. Or whoever it was from Leviatán outside of garage.
Like, why can't we just hug it out?
Might have been the drone actually from Nalsworth. And now they're up big. Biggest lead for 100 Thieves in this series. And you can see why. It's over and over. Much more comfortable than Leviatán was on that first half, even though it was even at the end of it. There's been no struggles here.
No, it's another hobbled, broken by from Leviatán as well. So 12 likely on the cards. But they do have some tools. They have the lockdown and the Hunter's Fury.
Going back to this B hit. They have, yes, been able to get the plant in most cases, but this time there's actually a setup here for 100 Thieves, and oh, it's falling.
But Austin on the response. The second, not able to convert.
What?
They can't either. They tried funneling. They tried flooding.
Spike planted.
How are they failing on these hits that are light buys over and over? That's now 2 light buys in a row where all of a sudden there's been a threat. This round almost wrapped up for them. Cryo doesn't have his knives, he doesn't have position, and they're not able to recoup with ults like they did in that last one.
And he's been good, but
Blocking sight.
this is a big ask. I respect it. We hadn't had a shorty kill. We were due for one.
It's crazy because Leviatán winning, getting such good kills early on these ecos, on these light buys, on these stinger rounds. But when it comes to the gun rounds, Cryo's working on them. And the hits that 100 Thieves are doing, the protocols are springing in such a way that there's no advantage gained from Leviatán.
Turret out.
And that timeout is hurting right now. The fact that it's missing, owner wants to be able to talk. After a streak like that, you know he has input. 4 players for 100 Thieves on this A site. We're going to see a big brawl early. King has ult. This could easily go sideways for 100 Thieves.
Someone's there. Saw you, Mosh.
Oh, that's a good mosh.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good. If you're Taco, they're going to have to get out.
Oh!
The counter ult to create some space, but Asuna falls. Traded right back. Cryo still with the up.
Oh my goodness.
On the right, he's not going to see him.
But Shy won't either. And he's got actually Derek. Oh!
Patience. Oh gosh, he almost botched it.
He should have gotten 2 there if he was a little bit more patient. So trigger discipline, well, you might have seen it at the beginning, not all the way. What's the call though here? 100 Thieves, they've lost control, lost information on the rest of the map. Leviatán.
Here.
they don't have it either. So again, they're forcing their way in. They're really not working the map. Might cost them. Derek, Bang, still here.
Dart up for Derek. Bang with no smoke yet.
Revealing area. Caution here.
Yeah, they know. You just got to be so much more careful when your controller's
Double
on.
shocks here for Derek, and that's going to do tons of damage.
That's the first. The second. Oh, he gets it!
He's
30
gone.
seconds left.
They can't even cross back to the spike, Doug.
Because they have nothing to cover them. They're nothing to conceal their presence. 100 Thieves, map point.
Match point.
You think back to Shy there, down short, had the opportunity to take out Cryo, take out Derek, only took down one. And if Derek was dead, they did not have this idea. He's been a monster
Yes, he has.
in this series, so consistently finding the impact kills. And this is it, 100 Thieves with a chance to put away the map. Take us to Lotus, Leviatán. Going fast.
With no real choice to slow down otherwise. Cryo spotting some.
You should run.
And they're going.
Oh, wow.
King has gotten up into cubby.
Lockdown in garage. They're gonna try to break it.
Spamming through. And yeah, comes at the cost of Stellar's life, but now a 2v2.
He missed a dash.
Bang waiting, that's a spike too. He can just push the Hunter's Fury.
Canceled. Wait, no, it didn't. Oh!
Bang pushes it, Bang gets the kill. It's just Shy now.
Gives up the spike, though.
He's gotten around him. They're winning! Shy with the Red Bull clutch!
Oh, my genius doesn't stop in the lab.
And again, Asna peaked too early. His teammate was not there yet. How is this happening? It's Bang instead, actually. Who's ahead of the play? Ready to fight, but Shy too clean. This is a guy who's been so consistent this game for Leviatán. Honestly, been the star
Here.
and the best performer for it in this series so far. Odin out for Derek.
And the work not done for Leviatán. Yeah, they got that one. But they're gonna need to get a couple more just to get us to OT.
Look at the setup here. The mollies are actually primed for Taco.
Yeah, but they're cleared. It's just a turret now.
Yeah, both popped actually by Stella a little early. Shock in there from Noswar too. Could have taken one down. And we slow. Way down here, Leviatán exploring the map. I was saying how much of a thorn in their side this was, not giving them the room to pivot. This time, look, Mazzino's still holding C, even within this 1 minute of round that's elapsed so far. They still have room to commit elsewhere. Oh, TP down long C, didn't see anything from Bang there. Which means you see Derek rotating over towards A actually, and they've left Stellar alone. Dart spotted him.
They're starting to rotate quickly. They understand where the hit's coming from. The blades from Taco are good as he looks for another.
Asta's out by himself. Bang's not joining him yet.
He's just so ahead of the play, and it may be okay as he gets one. Bang with 3! Asuna in the 1v2.
Down,
Numbers
B.
again not on their side. Now Asuna's gonna have a turn to clutch one out. 50 HP.
Gun barrel might have been
Spike
spotted.
landed, but you're right. Position betrayed.
These rounds bouncing back and forth, over and over. Leviatán with 2 in a row now. And there it is, there it is. This is the chance for Owner to get his team the information that is critically needed. I think King was starting to get an idea in that last round. Again, that map control so key on Haven. But Mike, not willing to give up this game, gonna take the risk of allowing Owner back in. Remember, Leviatán, Owner used 2 timeouts early in the first half, so they didn't have a chance to talk to their coach this entire time. And that's why you see King silent right now. They're not discussing. Something that's been a problem for 100 Thieves in the past with this roster has been closing out games. It's consistently been a problem, just maybe outside of their LCQ run. But here they have the opportunity to bring us to a map 3 to stay alive in the series. And we'll see if this decision to call this timeout might have haunted them, but it also might be called because of the haunting decisions of the past.
3 of the last 4 for the attacking side as they're slowly starting to crawl their way back into this. It's a light buy for 100 Thieves too.
Look at the spread for Leviatán. Back towards map control. They want to take sewers though. You can see the ping. Out from the side of the team who's going to take a lobby. Mazzino held towards C, a very basic default. Taco through the smoke. Remember last time there was a big trap play here with the Mosh and the follow-up from the 100 Thieves players. That caught Taco. This time there's no such thing. Early presence pulls 3 over towards A. Even Stellar moving out. Ooh, missed shock. That's supposed to take down the alarm bot and maybe the molly. And it does do that.
Just one.
But there's a follow-up turret there, so they're considering it. And they know still nothing into that B site. Bang just smoked. He just used his second smoke on A. There's a huge opportunity here for Leviatán to walk up dry and challenge Bang.
And all he has now is a flash, but he was ready for it. Taco up top, the dart, the fault line, everything. He's got to get away.
There's 3 rifles here for 100 Thieves. So they're waiting for them to get back in position. Stellar with an ult 2. I don't know if you're going to invest that in this round. Even if you don't have a full buy.
Yeah, do you risk it? Maybe you get Derek 1 more kill and then Hunter's Fury and then perhaps you invest.
All 5 players are down A though. This smoke is going to fade. Bang's not going to have a second.
Another 5v5. The Mosh Pit pushing Mazzino around.
Wingman defusing.
Wingman attempting to defuse but instantly gets cleared out. Mazzino ahead of it, but they were able to get it back.
What is that from King? He's jumping.
Massive.
Standing ahead.
And that's what I was saying about the smoke fading. He doesn't have a second for this. Now he does. But it's too late. Way too late.
Yeah, there's just no way in at this point.
Is there a Vandal for him to pick up? Okay, I was wondering why he was running away there. Oh, and King fell. Not going to be a big issue. They have Bank to buy him up, but they won't be able to get any pocket Odins or anything like that. We go the distance here in regulation. 100 Thieves want to close out. They want to so bad. You could see that given the timeout that just occurred. And Leviatán have mounted a comeback of their own since relying on this more default map control style. Again, those pivots, you just saw the success of it. But it looks like more towards B instead. This has been successful in its own right.
3 ults for 100 Thieves here. Big ones. Cryo with the op too. They push Bang up into Cubby, but the hit's gonna be B. Clear the ult early on. Hunter's Fury from Derek, and that's gonna get info. That's gonna get damage. That's gonna get 2! What an opener from Derek!
And we've got a Thrash as well to clear. I'm looking at Mazzino. He's on the big flank here, and he's gone.
Derek's already gotten 3.
2v5.
Bang on the closer. They can smell it. They know it's there. It's just NZR now. Bang gun hunting. Stellar on the defuse. And Lotus on the cards.
Defenders win.
My goodness, what a series. And this is great play from both sides. Both hitting very hard. Leviatán winning in the first map and mounting a valiant comeback attempt. Faltering in the final moments, but 100 Thieves able to withstand a very, very strong Leviatán. One of the best in the league. They're sitting at the top of the standings right now, other than Loud, with a 3-1 record. They're looking very primed for playoffs, whereas 100 Thieves are fighting for their lives.
Fighting for their lives in the standings. They were fighting for their lives at the end of that map. Remember, it was a ferocious attempt at a comeback that faltered in the waning moments. 100 Thieves able to close things out off of a clutch ult from Derek. What a massive round from him to put things away, to send us to the next map. And yeah, it got a little scary at the end. It didn't feel good, but you've got to be positive hanging after what that map was, after how they closed that out. Once again, we're going the distance. Lotus on the other side of this break. We'll be right back.